So real estate versus the stock market, right? Which one's a more, I guess it'd be hard to say better, but what's the more ideal investment, right?
Yeah, so first off, we have been programmed that stock markets are Roth IRA, IRAs, 401ks. It's the safe way to invest and everybody does it. I would challenge that notion. And I think the only way to do it is to do it apples to apples, right? So let's say you have $200,000 to invest and you're gonna take that $200,000 and you're gonna say,
Okay, I'm gonna put this in the stock market.
And let's say over 10 years, it goes about 7%, which is, about what the stock market does. Your investment would be about double. So let's say $400,000 in 10 years. And then let's say you kept it in there another 10 years, it would double again. So $400,000 to $800,000, okay? Oh, wow, that's a pretty darn good investment, right? Well, let's say you took that same $200,000 and you put it as a 20% down payment on $1 million apartment building. And let's just say for this example, this is not going to happen, but for this example, you were not able to cash flow anything, okay? Meaning you made zero in cash flow on this thing, but you put it on a 20-year mortgage, all right? So you put it on a 20-year mortgage, the cash flow is zero. Let's just say for this example, I know real estate usually goes up over time. Let's just say it doesn't appreciate at all. So it's not gonna increase in value. And let's say you don't take advantage of any of the tax advantages, okay? So over time, that mortgage is gonna be paid off, okay, by the tenant's rent. And remember, there's no appreciation. So you bought it for $1 million, 20 years later, it's gonna be what? Worth $1 million, okay? So you use leverage and use a loan with real estate for $200,000, and now you have a property worth $1 million after 20 years. You doubled your money every 10 years in the stock market, and now you have $800,000. So which one made more money? Not only did it make more money, it made 25% more money. $1 million is 25% more than $800,000. But wait a second, we didn't even count appreciation. Let's say that it appreciates a little bit over 3.5% every year. That means it's gonna double in value over 20 years. So now it's worth $2 million building. Let's say you, on average, cash flowed $50,000 a year on that property. Well, now 50,000 times 20 years is another $1 million. That's $3 million. Not to mention, I got to depreciate all of that out and save money on my taxes. We're looking at a real value of $3 to $3.5 million on that property that you pocketed compared to the stock market, because there are really 5 ways that you make money in real estate. Most people know about cash flow. Most people know about appreciation. They don't know about taxable depreciation and what I call the secret sauce, which is the loan pay down, meaning that on your payment every month, there's principal and there's interest. You're not paying it. The tenants are paying you money. You're using that money to pay the principal and the interest, right? And so what happens is, let's say on a $1,000 payment, $200 goes to principal, $800 goes to interest. Well, you just got $200 wealthier. You may not feel it, but it works. And then lastly, and people don't necessarily realize this, is that if inflation's at 5% and my loan is at 4%, well, I get to pay that loan off over time in cheaper dollars every year, right? So I always make the joke to clients on a 30-year mortgage that they get in 2024 that if they paid all that way through, it would be done in 2054. I would joke, well, based on what I see, if this mortgage payment stays the same because it's a 30-year fixed mortgage, you're gonna have a decision on your last mortgage payment. Hey, should we pay our last mortgage payment or should you take the family out for McDonald's for dinner? Because they're gonna be about the same, because inflation is going to grow, but that payment's going to stay fixed. Yeah. So it's a way to actually short the dollar when you get financing and use diluted dollars over time with inflation to pay off fixed debt. Yeah. And that's a great way to build wealth long term.
So really just inflation going your way for once.
That's exactly why getting loans is so important, because it actually puts you in control a little bit more, and you can take advantage of inflation. Inflation is a fact of life here in America and in other countries even more so. But if I can tie it to an asset that cash flows and can pay off that debt, and that is fixed and inflation's rising, I can always pay that debt off with dollars that are worth less and less and less.